chicken and Coca-Cola sauce. A different recipe with this spectacular result. Look at how fantastic this sauce is. Don't miss this amazing recipe that turns out truly luxurious. And today, we're going to use Coca-Cola to add some flavor to this fantastic chicken. Hi, I'm Pelayo, and this is Saladolandia. And today, I hope you're doing fantastic, but I hope that by the end of the video, you're doing even better. Because I'm going to give you a different idea for making chicken and sauce. Yes. Different, original, and fun, with an ingredient that we're not used to using for this kind of thing. It's Coca-Cola, but I'll tell you a little secret. You can use any cola soda you want from any brand. In fact, I'm sure that in your area or country, there's another brand that's also pretty good. So I'd appreciate it if you could write down in the comments below, where are you writing from? And what other brand do you have there that's pretty good? That way, I can learn from you too. I won't go on any longer. I just want to remind you that at the end, I'll leave you the list of ingredients so you can grab a pen and paper and write them down calmly at the end. That way, you can watch the recipe calmly without worrying about the quantities. All right, let's do it. Let's go for it. We start by finely slicing the 2 cloves of garlic. So here I go. We're going to cut them into relatively small pieces, just like that. It's that easy. After finely chopping the garlic, we'll do the same with an onion. So we slice it, then cut it again into strips, and I'll end up with small cubes. That's the process. Strips, and then you chop it, so you always end up with small pieces. Next, I season 8 chicken thighs with salt and pepper. So, salt to taste, and in my case, pepper to taste. There, that's perfect. This is going to give it the usual flavor of good chicken. Be sure to turn each thigh over and repeat the process on the other side. That way they're seasoned all over and always have great flavor. Next, we pour a splash of oil into a pot over medium-high heat and let it heat up once it's nice and hot. We add our chicken drumsticks, which we're going to sear, and let them get a little golden. This way, the inside will stay juicier and the chicken will taste much better. So we start by placing all our chicken thighs or drumsticks in the pot. There goes the last one. Once they're golden on one side, we flip them over. Remember, you have to keep turning them. You can even turn them a little every now and then, that way they'll be evenly golden all over. Alright, I'm going to keep turning another one. If you're wondering why I'm using a pot instead of a pan, it's because I'm going to make the sauce and everything in the same container. This way, I use the chicken juices already coming out. Once our chicken pieces are golden brown, we're going to put them on a plate, take them out. And what we'll do now is add, as we are, the garlic and onion in. We're going to let it cook until the onion changes color, gets soft and a little transparent. While we wait, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay updated with the latest news. An important thing. Alright, the onion is ready. You see how it's even starting to change color? Once you have it, add a pinch more salt. This is the moment to give the onion some flavor. A pinch, nothing more. You don't need to add any more. We also add half a cup of whiskey and start stirring. If you don't have whiskey, you can also use rum or any other liquor. But I'm telling you, with whiskey, it gets a really fantastic flavor. Once all the alcohol has evaporated, what you need to do is add fried tomato or tomato sauce. About the same amount, half a cup. And you stir it a few times until it cooks a little. So, we're going to keep stirring it here. For 1 or 2 minutes. Look at how it looks. Grab this quickly. Now that you have it cooking with the tomato, with the alcohol evaporated, and with the green onion ready, it's time to add the brown chicken back in, along with any juices left on the plate. Do you add it too since it adds flavor? And we're here to make the most of everything. Alright, we have everything mixed together. Let's give all of this a little stir so the flavor is evenly distributed throughout all the meat. And what we're going to do now is add Coca-Cola, today's magic ingredient. Roughly half a liter or 2.5 cups. And we'll balance out the sweetness of the Coca-Cola with a little more salt. The more Coca-Cola or cola soda you add, the sweeter the mixture will be. So, I'll leave this amount up to your taste. About half a liter. You can add a little more or a little less. That's up to your personal preference. Now, just cover the pot, reduce heat to medium, and cook for 40 minutes. Halfway through that time, turn the chicken drumsticks over. We're at the stewing stage, so I recommend doing it over medium or slightly low heat, so it simmers gently and not too strongly. And halfway through the time, around 20 minutes, turn each piece over so it cooks really evenly. After 20 minutes on one side and 20 minutes after turning them over, with our chicken thighs, you'll get a dish just like the one on screen. So let's take it off the heat and serve this wonder on a tray or plate. What we'll do is simply take our chicken drumsticks and place them on a tray. What I'm going to do is alternate them, meaning I'll put one with the thick side down and another with the thick side up. That way they alternate and end up looking like a compact dish, but made of chicken drumsticks. A very simple presentation, but very practical, because you can pour the sauce on top and brush it without making a mess. Look, let's pour some sauce, because you can see that when you cook it a little, it becomes super strong and super thick. This way, we're going to pour a little on each piece, and then we'll move them around. If you have a pastry brush or a baking brush, that's even better, because that way you'll reach all the corners of the meat. And I'm telling you, well, with the spoon, it turns out fantastic, but if you spread it well with this tool, it takes it to a whole new level. And the sauce turns out super silky. Look, what a real wonder. Look, 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 look. And look again. It looks like barbecue flavored honey. What a marvel. And you see, you can prepare different, delicious, and surprising dishes without much complication, but with a lot of flavor. Look, 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 look. Here is the most important thing that people eat. Here is also the inside. Perfect, super juicy, without losing any of the chicken's juice. And with this little sauce on the outside to give it a splendid flavor for extreme enjoyment. I really hope you like this idea a lot, because I'm sure it surprised you a bit, but I assure you the flavor is worth it. A very quick recipe, a little different, but I assure you that you're going to enjoy it. Wasn't it easy? Of course it was. A simple recipe with surprising results. And as I promised you, here are the detailed ingredients so you won't have any problems. While you write them down, I'm going to try this marvel. Chicken is always great, and with a strong sauce, it's even better. I hope you like this idea and try it someday, as it adds a special touch. A little sweetness, like what barbecue sauce can have, for example. Kinda like that. So tasty. I hope you tell me below too. Hey, what other sauce do you love? Because I want to learn how to make a lot of them here. While you think, watch this video. It looks great. Subscribe for free. Enable the bell for updates on the latest news. Want more? I also have another channel for sweet recipes called Golosolandia.